The movie opens by introducing a female teacher named Elena, who is spending private time with her student, Christian. She sits behind him in an alluring and attractive manner, guiding his posture, and whispers in a low voice. It seems a little difficult at first, but soon everything will be perfectly fine. Witnessing Elena's seductive style, Christian feels a sudden wave of surprise and excitement. However, Elena quickly cools down his rising desires by placing a violin between his feet, holding his hand with great affection to teach him how to play the instrument. Despite her efforts, Christian's attention remains completely fixed on Elena rather than the music. Unable to control his deep desires any longer, he suddenly leans in and kisses Elena. Shocked and offended by this action, Elena reacts with anger, telling him that he shouldn't have crossed that line because she is his teacher. Christian, however, responds without any hesitation, stating that he is now 19 years old and has developed genuine feelings in his heart for a beautiful woman like her. Hearing this confession leaves Elena deeply astonished. Shouting at him in a firm tone, she warns Christian that if her husband ever finds out about this inappropriate behavior, it will end terribly for him, so he must leave immediately. Just at that moment, Elena's husband, Elliot, walks into the room. Hearing the loud commotion and tension, Elliot confronts Elena, asking if everything is alright. Annoyed and stressed, Elena starts shouting back at her husband in anger. Feeling insulted and embarrassed in front of his wife's student, Elliot becomes furious but chooses to remain silent for the moment. Elena then immediately orders Christian to get out of the house. Before walking away with a heavy and sad heart, Christian sincerely apologizes to Elena for his reckless mistake. The moment Christian steps outside, Elliot unleashes his suppressed rage onto Elena, strictly warning her never to speak to him in that disrespectful tone again. In a fit of violent anger, he grabs the bow of the violin and aggressively presses it against her throat. When Elena begs him not to break the instrument's bow, Elliot violently strikes her across the face with it, causing her to collapse onto the ground. Desperate for comfort and safety after the assault, she makes her way directly to Christian's house. Christian is absolutely stunned to find Elena standing right at his doorstep in such a state. The moment his eyes fall upon the painful wound bruised across Elena's cheek, he immediately understands what happened and furiously prepares to leave to kill Elliot. However, Elena stops him in his tracks, pulling him inside the house before tightly closing the door behind them. Seeking an escape from her trauma, Elena begins to seduce Christian and starts removing her clothes. Christian is initially caught off guard by this sudden intimacy, but as Elena draws closer to him, he loses all self-control. Suddenly, the loud ring of the doorbell startles them both, leaving them filled with fear. Christian nervously opens the door only to find his mother standing in front of him. Seeing the messy and scattered state of the room, his mother immediately begins scolding Christian for the chaos. Before Christian can even offer an explanation, his mother catches sight of Elena standing in the kitchen and demands to know who she is. Christian quickly explains that she is his school teacher. Hearing this, Elena turns around, and a sudden smile of recognition lights up the mother's face. She happily reveals to Christian that Elena is actually her old college friend, and she warmly embraces her. However, the joyful reunion is cut short when the mother notices the dark mark on Elena's cheek and begins questioning her about it. Overwhelmed, Elena decides it is best to leave, but Christian's mother refuses to let her go out like that. Before discussing the matter further, the mother sternly orders Christian to leave the room. Christian protests, arguing that he is no longer a child but a 19-year-old man, but his mother completely ignores his objections and forces him out. Turning back to Elena, she asks if Elliot was the one responsible for the abuse. Elena remains completely silent, tearfully asking to leave, but Christian's mother firmly decides that she will keep Elena safe in their house. Overhearing this from outside, Christian steps back into the room and insists that his teacher will be staying with him in his bedroom. To Elena's surprise, the mother shows no objection at all and happily directs Christian to show Elena to his room. Finding this strange dynamic highly unusual, Elena follows Christian as he leads her into his bedroom. As soon as they step inside, Christian locks the bedroom door and immediately tries to share an intimate moment with Elena. Although Elena reminds him that she is still his teacher and that this relationship is completely wrong, she finds herself overwhelmed by her emotions and gives in, drawing close to Christian once again. Their moment is suddenly interrupted by his mother loudly knocking on the door. Filled with irritation, Christian snaps the door open while Elena quickly hides out of sight. His mother demands to know where Elena is, and Christian quickly makes an excuse, claiming that she is currently taking a shower. Hearing this, his mother suggests using the time to clean up his messy room, but Christian angrily snaps back, telling her to leave and that he will clean it himself. This completely triggers his mother, who furiously asserts her authority, stating that as long as this house belongs to her, she is the one who decides how things are run. Becoming equally angry, Christian retorts that as long as he is living there, she needs to stay quiet and get out, before slamming the door loudly in her face. Frustrated by his mother's overbearing attitude, Christian sits down in deep disappointment. Seeing his distress, Elena walks over to comfort him, gently explaining that his mother behaves this way only because she deeply loves him. Christian bitterly replies that she does nothing but bother and control him. Elena tries to reason with him, pointing out that he can never truly cut ties with his mother. Christian then turns the question on her, asking why she is trying to distance herself from him. Elena sadly explains the harsh reality. Neither will her husband allow her to separate cleanly, nor will his mother ever leave them alone, making their forbidden romance entirely wrong. Despite the heavy conversation, the intense gravity of the moment pulls them together again, and they share a deep kiss. However, they are completely unaware that Christian's mother is standing right outside, watching their entire intimate encounter through the window. Later that night, when Christian steps out of his bedroom, he finds his mother waiting for him in the shadows. Annoyed by her constant spying, Christian strictly demands to know why she is lurking outside his door. Maintaining a completely calm and cold demeanor, his mother simply informs him that dinner is ready and that a very special guest has arrived, urging him to come downstairs and meet him. Christian, filled with a sense of dread, follows his mother to the dining table. To his absolute horror, Christian is stunned to see Elena's abusive husband, Elliot, sitting calmly at the table. Christian's anger completely boils over as he starts shouting at his mother, furiously demanding to know why she invited this monster into their home. In a deeply calculated response, his mother cold-bloodedly explains that while Christian was busy enjoying himself with Elena upstairs, she felt it was her duty to inform Elliot of everything. She claims that since Elliot is still Elena's legal husband, both of them have every right to know the truth about each other's actions. Shocked by his mother's cruel betrayal, Christian defends Elena, shouting that Elliot is a dangerous and heartless man who physically abuses his wife. To his disbelief, his mother dismisses the violence, coldly stating that there is no harm in treating such a woman poorly because she deserves every bit of it for seducing and ruining her young son. Turning to Elliot, the mother explicitly blames Elena for spoiling her son's innocence. Elliot warmly thanks the mother, expressing his gratitude that at least one person understands his perspective. He then sharply commands Christian to bring his wife out immediately so they can leave. Christian responds with a mocking smile, asking Elliot if he honestly believes Elena is just sitting up there waiting for him. With defiance, Christian throws his bedroom key across the table toward Elliot, telling him to go upstairs and find her himself. Enraged, Elliot snatches the key and storms up to Christian's room. Upon searching the area, he finds no sign of Elena anywhere. The room is completely empty, except for her discarded clothes left near a wide-open window. Realizing she has escaped, a furious Elliot grabs Elena's clothes, marches back downstairs, and violently throws them directly at Christian's mother, insulting her by saying she can't even manage a simple task properly before storming out of the house. Left alone with her son, Christian's mother tries to manipulate him with sweet words, attempting to convince him that she did it all to fix his life. However, Christian stops her strictly, stating that he refuses to listen to another word because her toxic control has officially ruined his life. Declaring that one day she will finally understand the damage she has caused, Christian turns his back on her and walks out into the night, ignoring her desperate pleas to stop. He walks out to the driveway, gets into his car, and starts the engine. As he drives off into the dark, he speaks aloud to himself, melancholically questioning, "Have we ever truly been able to love?" Suddenly, the camera shifts to reveal Elena sitting quietly in the back seat, completely unclothed. In a deeply alluring and attractive tone, she gently whispers to Christian, asking him to take her to the nearest gas station. Hearing her voice, Christian drives off into the night toward the destination, and this thrilling short movie comes to an end. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.